Hey guys! So, in this video, you and I are going to talk about money and how to make money off your application, or rather the skills that I think is a little bit underappreciated in our world of engineering. So let's get into it. Now, let's start off by saying something. I'm just going to make a statement. You are, of course, completely free to disagree with me, and that is absolutely fine. But I make the argument that being a software developer and being able to produce code is easy in comparison to monetizing your skills. What do I mean by that? Well, I mean that even though you are a software developer, I can take myself, even though I know how to build software and I know how to build tools, I'm passionate, I love what I do, I create things very often, I'm creative let's just say that I'm creative in general, and I like building things. All of that is great and all, but I do not have the skill or the perception or whatever, let's call it talent. I don't have the talent for business. I have to this day never built anything that was even remotely feasible to make money off. I have my own startup project, but I can't take credit for the idea. I can't take credit for the potential that project holds in terms of creating a company and becoming something money-wise, because I needed other people to help me out with that. And I spoke to a few colleagues about this the other day, and we kind of agreed that it's a very different thing. These things are very, very different. There's a big difference between being a skilled software developer and being an entrepreneur. I hate that word. It sounds pompous or pretentious. I'm sorry if you are an entrepreneur, but what I like about it is that having the ability to come up with a good idea, being able to make a proof of concept or creating a product, and then shipping that and actually creating a company from it, that's a talent. It's a skill. It's something that not everybody can do. I'm one of those people. I can't do that. I wish I could. I wish I was the sort of person who could just look at society or look at problems. I mean, I can solve problems. I solve problems every day. No problem at all. But there's a big difference between solving a problem for somebody and making something that people are willing to pay for. It's worlds apart. It's actually funny because a lot of take Facebook, for example. Platforms such as Facebook, one of their biggest problems when they first started out, they had a great idea, but people weren't willing to pay for it. So they had issues to convert their awesome product and ideas into money. Spotify is in the same situation. These issues is what I argue a true somebody who has a talent for creating money value or creating business value. These are the sort of people that have this aptitude, and I truly envy it, because I suppose that it might be at odds with each other. And I don't think I've ever been in the presence of somebody who had both the engineering talent and the business talent at the same time. Now, just hear me out. I have absolutely spoken to people who started out as a one-man company or one-woman company, people who, programmers who had a cool idea, built something, and then started making money of it. I have, but I find that a lot of the developers that I meet, either they're very good at writing good software or they're good at making money. Because I find it very rare to talk to somebody who has made something of themselves. I mean, the people I've talked to who started in college, created their first company, and started making money basically straight out of college. These are not the most passionate. They are definitely not the most skilled programmers I've ever met. In fact, it is, in my opinion, it's a wonder. It probably, well, I wouldn't go that far, but it almost feels as they're lucky that they created something that was such a good idea that they could start making money of it and actually create a company. Because in today's world, as software developers, they would not. My feeling is that they would not cut it, because they're not zealously indoctrinated into best practices and coding and like all of that stuff. Where, well, basically where I am. And you see, that's what I find over and over and over. And I think that that's something that we don't talk enough about as software engineers. The people who make something that they can make into a company. I mean, I can look at my own company that I'm working for today. It started out with 3 guys who came together, had an awesome idea, started building. And today it is one of the hottest startups here in Gothenburg, if not the hottest startup. And it's valued to millions. And I sit and work in that code base every day. And I can sit there as a software engineer. I'm very happy to be part of that company. It's extremely exciting. But when I look at the code and I look at the technical decisions, I mean, this is not perfect. It's the furthest thing from perfect. It was the same thing when I was working at Ticketmaster. The code was absolutely shit in some areas. And in some areas it was a little bit less shit, but it was still shit. If you think of it in a very broad, clean code, Uncle Bob type of way. What does that mean? Well, it made me realize that maybe the quality of the code has absolutely no impact on the value of the product. That might not be a big revelation to a lot of people, but to me it was. Because when I started out, I went in with the mindset that I'm going to write good code so that my product gets good, and I'm going to do everything I can to make high quality software. And as I go through more and more experiences, and the more I see, I realize that good enough is actually further to the norm of what becomes a successful application. It's kind of eye-opening for me, or it was eye-opening for me when I realized that there is this. I don't know. I may have made an assumption that was completely incorrect, because as I'm trying to tell you that the products who make it and actually become really very popular and immensely successful, they don't have the best code, not by a long shot. The code is pretty shitty in some cases, like really shitty. I've been interviewed for companies where I would not touch that code with a 10-foot stick, but the company is making money. It's a popular company. It's employing people. It is, and it's insane. And I'll end us off with, I will end this little rant of mine by stating something that was mentioned to me by a colleague at my first job, and I think there is a truth to it. I actually do. I'm coming around to this mentality that he was trying to pitch. He said, Fredrik, writing perfect software is very costly. It's bad when you're a small company, because it costs you too much, and odds are that you're going to get it wrong. And writing quick and dirty things at the beginning and trying to cut as many corners as possible and just getting something to work and getting it to provide value to customers that are willing to pay for it is the way to go. And that hurt me. I'm going to be honest, that hurt me a lot. I mean, this was going against every single thing I've ever been taught in school. And then he said, you see, because if you create something perfect, odds are that you're not going to make, if you're not making money off that software that you're building, you're not going to be able to advance your product. But if the people who are hacking things together and that are able to move much quicker than you are, and they are those people who are focusing more on the business value and more on the customers and trying to just ignoring good engineering virtually. Well, not ignoring it, but going very light on that. If they're making money, they can start hiring more developers to fix the problem later, if needed, if it even needs to be fixed, because we live in a world where no software project is perfect. So why are you focusing so much on it? That's a good question. Why are we focusing so much on it? I suppose my answer to that question is that it makes me feel good. That's it. But maybe I need to start thinking about things slightly differently. And maybe you should too. Have a great day.